So what got you into comedy? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, I was obsessed with stand-up growing up. But it was like just whatever was on Comedy Central,
Mhm.
premium, gosh, what was that show called? I literally was talking about it earlier today. Premium Blend. Um,
Yes. Okay. I know
that
what you're
was
talking about.
like the joint back then. But so I was always into it, but I didn't think it was something you could decide to do. I thought you kind of had to be like famous, and then people were like, "Oh, let's like listen to her talk." Um,
Not
and
quite so
then when I
much.
got older, I do a lot of like public speaking in my day job stuff,
Hmm.
and I would use humor in that, and eventually I just decided to give it a shot. I mean,
And
I'm happy I
it
did.
all blossomed from there.
Yeah, I mean, or it's still blossoming. I'll go with that.
Hey, there you go. How long have
Yeah.
you been doing it?
5 years now.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
awesome. See, when I was a kid, I was really big into SNL, and Chris Farley was my hero.
Oh, sure.
And so that's kind of what I wanted to do, more of like sketch comedy, SNL style. But then somewhere along the way, I just didn't do it. I just don't think I had the stones to actually get up in front of people and do that kind of stuff. So play music, sure, but try and make people
Well, and
laugh.
that's what's funny is like, oh, I mean, I know a lot of comics who come from like a music background and playing in
Yeah.
bands, and I did bands when I was younger, but it never like really went anywhere. Like the last band that I was in, I got kicked out at the studio. We were recording an album, and they didn't want me to record vocals because I was going to have I found out I was having a kid.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, you're not gonna be able to tour, so why would you even do the record? Um, which fair enough.
All right.
Um, but I don't think they even went on tour anyway, so fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. They suck anyway. Assholes.
Now that they don't have me.
Yeah, bitches. All of them. And welcome back to another episode of First, Last, and Best. And depending how things are going, we either just wrapped up the Supernova Summer of Ska series, or we just did the episode with my wife where we talked about Good Charlotte. I don't know what's going to happen and whether or not we actually recorded that or not. So let's pretend we did or pretend we didn't. One of the two. I don't know. Anyways, we're here for a brand new episode talking about one of my favorite bands, and I'm really stoked for this one. We got a brand new guest with us today. Really, really excited about it. But first, let's go ahead and talk about the social media presence. We're over on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and we are on TikTok. First, Last, and Best podcast. You can find all of our random behind the scenes videos. You can find our song of the day, any information about when our episodes are coming out, final collection over on Instagram, pretty much anything like that. You can also find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on Apple Music. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find First, Last, and Best. So let's move forward and introduce our very special guest. You can see her appearing in Birmingham on October 2nd, October 18th and 19th in Pittsburgh, the 23rd in Jacksonville, and she'll be appearing at the Fest in Gainesville, Florida on the 24th and 25th of October. You can check out her YouTube channel at I'll have her say it because I completely forgot what it was because I didn't write it down. So that's my fault. I apologize. She also has her upcoming special, AKA, coming out on the 29th of October and is available now for pre order. Ladies and gentlemen, stand up comedy's own Bailey Pope is with us here on the podcast. Bailey, welcome to First, Last, and Best.
Thanks for having me. What a great intro. I
It's
feel I feel better about myself already.
That's one of the things I'm actually good at, apparently, is
Solid.
intros and segues. according to most of the people who come on this show for one reason or another, is something I'm good at.
I do
Um,
like being good at just the in-between things. And people are
yes,
like, the content,
the content is
but
garbage, but the
I
in-between
love
stuff,
how you move from one to the other.
exactly. From one piece of garbage to the next piece of garbage, you're good at that, but it's the actual garbage that's the problem.
Building
Um,
blocks.
so what we'll get into who we're going to talk about here in a moment. But like, are you really big into music? Obviously, you're big into comedy. We were talking about that a couple of minutes ago. But like, you said you were also in a band earlier, and like, how much has music kind of played a role in your life?
Yeah, I mean, music's huge to me. It's like when I grew up, like really just obsessed with, I really what started with like a lot of punk, and actually like I got into it through like the Christian punk world, like in the late 90s or
Like a lot
even
of people.
late 90s, yeah.
Yep.
And I grew up in Southern California in like skateboard culture,
Yep.
and so punk and skate really went together back then. Um, so that's how I kind of got into it. And then I played in bands starting in like fourth grade, did bass a little bit, but then I got into vocals
Nice.
in hardcore bands in like high school on.
Yeah.
Um, and so I've always been really into music, and I wanted to try to make like, professional life out of music, but it didn't work out that way. But um, so much about comedy and just the lifestyle of gigging and like touring and stuff. And the community of comedy is very similar to the music world, like where you have
Yeah.
friends doing each other favors and like, doing shows together. And like it's all about like this really like great network of dirtbags that all have each other's backs in different ways. And it really is very synonymous.
Yeah. I agree, and especially looking at especially the DIY tours that people will do, and a lot of things like my friends have done, like growing up and everything. It does seem to be very hand in hand, uh, between especially like the more local music scene and getting connections outside of your hometown to the actual comedy scene as well, and being able to expand from there. So, I
Mhm.
mean, it does seem very hand in hand. Um, so the one question I ask everybody when they come on the show is, what have you been listening to lately? Like, what's been on your rotation?
Well, okay, today I listened to a new single by Better Lovers. I probably listened to it 15 times
Nice.
this evening on my way home. Better Lovers is sort of ex-members of Every Time I Die,
Yep.
and vocalist from Dillinger
Dillinger
and
Escape Plan.
a couple other bands. Yeah. Yeah, so Better Lovers was a big part of my day today, but I've also been like kind of gearing up. I don't know when you go to a music festival, do you ever like really try to cram back on like the
Yes.
bands you're pumped to see? Like I'm going to Furnace
Yep.
Fest next week, and that's where I'm doing comedy is like the welcome night, like the night before the fest.
Oh,
I'm doing
nice.
a show with Furnace Fest. But I've been like going hard on Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza
Yep.
and Rolo Tomasi. Been
Nice.
like two of my heavy ones lately.
Not like the microphone, please and thank you. Honestly, I was doing that for Supernova. Do you know
Nice.
what Supernova is or no?
The ska,
The ska festival in Hampton,
yeah.
Virginia.
Mhm.
I love it. It is just a completely different animal than any other music festival I've ever been to. So before I went, I would definitely look up bands. I did it last year, did it again this year, especially the bands that I don't really know quite as well.
Yeah.
But it's kind of led me down like a big rabbit hole and like actually talking to some of these bands. So like one of the
There's a cool
bands,
like resurgence of some ska, like at least it's respect for ska. Like it's kind of like having a moment. It's interesting.
a little bit, and I think it's especially I try not I try to keep the show as apolitical as humanly possible, even if it's been very obvious how far to the left I have a tendency to lean.
Sure.
Um, I I I think a big reason for that, especially punk music, ska, it's always been very political in nature. And just with how our country has been over the last probably 10 years or so, it does seem to be uh gearing up for a very big explosion in the punk and ska world, just as a sort of defiance for what's going on, which
Right. I
honestly
mean,
I kind of love about it. So
it should, I mean, it is all rooted in speaking your mind and anti-establishment and so I mean, the best music is stuff that people are passionate about. And
exactly.
uh yeah, I mean, and that's actually back like on the ska note, like Furnace Fest is like mainly like hardcore and like metal stuff,
Yeah,
for the most part. But Less Than Jake is going to be there, and I've never actually gotten to see them perform, and I am pumped.
they are ridiculous. They are so wonderfully ridiculous. You'll have such a great time with Less Than
It's
Jake.
amazing how long they've been at it.
Early 90s, I want to say like
Yeah.
93, 94 is when Pezcore came out.
Yes.
Such
Yeah.
such a great band. They put on a hell of a live show. Roger Manganiello is easily one of my favorite bassists of all time. Um, it's they put on a great show, hands down. I there's only two bands. I mentioned this last week. There's only two bands that I've seen more times than Less Than Jake, and that's Dropkick Murphys and Coheed and Cambria. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so
I've never seen Dropkick, and they're actually doing Furnace as well.
they are amazing. It's definitely been an interesting change of pace since Al Barr left the band. Um,
Mm.
Ken has taken over the vocals because I don't remember exactly what happened because he was their bass player for years. Like he did bass and vocals, and then Al was more of like the lead. But I think he got into like a car accident or something and hurt his back, and it's like carrying
Oh.
the bass around all the time just started to wear on him. So I think he moved to kind of like a co-vocalist, and then Al left the band, and now he's just basically their full-time vocalist. So, but no, they put on a hell of a show. They always have. They are my favorite band of all time. So,
Yeah,
but
I'm looking forward to that.
you're gonna have a blast, guaranteed. So, all right. So let us move on and move forward. Other we're just gonna be chit-chatting all night, and we do have things to do, places to see, blah 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 blah. So this week we are covering one of my favorite bands.
And
You actually, and one of your favorite bands, and that's Thursday.
yes.
Oh my God. So what led you into Thursday? Like, is it just you listen to Cross Out the Eyes and all of a sudden you're hooked, or is it?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So I can still picture having a burnt full collapse
Yeah,
uh, in one of my first cars. Um, I can remember really instantly being obsessed with that album and trying to play it for anybody that would let me because I had already gotten into like heavier stuff, but
yeah,
it felt like this was like a kind of heavy that I could actually play in my friends' cars and they wouldn't be mad. Uh, I can specifically remember, I can't remember, it might be the end of Cross Out the Eyes, where he like kind of is screaming and the music has ended.
yeah.
And I was playing at my friend Jesse's car, and all of a sudden that part was happening. He's like, "Whoa, why?" Like he was fine
Because
with it until then.
some people just don't like the screaming, which I don't understand.
Oh, and that's my favorite part.
I love Jeff. I love his voice. I love his screams. I saw them. They did a War All the Time 20th anniversary tour where they played it front
Oh,
to
last
back.
year.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a great tour.
That was so good. It was at Elevation 27 over in Virginia Beach. And as soon as they hit those first notes of For the Workforce, I'm
Dude,
pulls me
I
in.
have a video of them doing that. I was like on the second level of Irving Plaza here in New York, and it is chilling.
It is. Oh my God, it's so good. I love Thursday Live. Like one
Yeah.
of my core memories, it was the night before I was supposed to leave for my sister's wedding. And Thursday was playing with, I want to say it was Every Time I Die and like one other band at Toad's Place in New Haven.
Okay.
And uh I went crazy the entire night. I think I got home around like 11:30. My flight left at 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't sleep. And then I at the time I didn't know there was an airport in New Haven. The only
Oh,
airport like I really kind
I
of
didn't know that.
there it's super small. Like you walk out onto the tarmac. Like it's so small. And it flies to
Okay.
like Boston and Philadelphia and I think maybe somewhere in Rhode Island. Um, but the only airport I really knew and knew well enough to where like I didn't want to fly out of JFK. I didn't want to fly out of LaGuardia because I did not know them very well. Honestly, forgot that Hartford was a thing. Uh, so I drove down to MacArthur out on Long Island. So
Okay.
I drove around through the Bronx to get
You
out to
basically
Long
had to
Island.
pass both of our airports
Yes, I
to
did.
go out to Islip.
It was not, my best move. But I have family in New York, so it just seemed like the good idea at the time. So then getting turned around into the South Bronx by a police officer who told because I was like $1 short on the toll, and he's like, "Nah, you got to find an ATM." I'm like,
No way.
"Fucker." So I found an ATM, but I just got lost in the South Bronx trying to find a Throgs Neck again. So yeah,
That's like a
that sucked.
hazing.
It felt like it. So, but yeah, but I ended up seeing Thursday. No regrets on that because that was such a fun night, and I
So
love that
fun.
band live. They are so good live.
If you
So
like his streaming, you should look up the little side project that happened shortly called United Nations.
I don't think
Uh,
I listened to that.
oh my God. It is like Dillinger people, Converge people, and Jeff. Um,
Oh
and
damn!
it is super heavy, but you can totally tell like it's Jeff. Oh,
I'm
it's
okay
so
with that.
good.
You said United
Oh, so
Nations?
good. United Nations.
Hold on, I'm now looking that up just so I can have it later. So United Nations. All right, I'm gonna have to listen to that.
It's definitely like on
I'm
my
doing that
rotation
tomorrow.
at all times. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so obviously, we just talked about Thursday. Now we actually got to go into the first, the last, and the best. And we're starting with Waiting, which production wise, not quite as polished as what we would end up winding seeing from them. But I still think this is an album that truly means a lot because it
Yeah.
feels very gritty. It feels very much who Thursday wanted to be. I don't remember if this was on Victory Records or if they signed on to
I
Victory
don't
later.
know. I bet it was probably something smaller for
Yeah.
at first. But like that whole Jersey world, like Jersey and it's weird, like especially that era. It seemed like Jersey and Long Island didn't need
Oh
New York
yeah.
City. It was
No, they
right
didn't.
smack in the middle, but they were fine without it. But like really like symbiotic music scene back then, it seems. I grew up on the West Coast, so I didn't get to be a part of it, but
Yeah.
um, I feel like definitely like a more raw version of Thursday, but it's still like,
But I love that about it though.
yeah.
Waiting just felt like that gritty kind of post-hardcore, like not quite hardcore, but not quite pop punk either.
Hmm.
So it's like they were kind of lost in this world that uh especially in New Jersey where at that time what you were getting Saves the Day, you were getting I think Census Fails from Jersey.
Yeah.
Uh
Number 12 looks like you.
yeah.
Saves the day Thursday. Yeah.
So it just seems like they kind of got lost a little in the shuffle, but at the same time, Waiting was just a great album. I mean, there's always songs, and I'll get into this a little bit when we get into No Dissolution, but I feel like there's always a song on any Thursday album that I can point to and say that's going to keep me there. Like I'm going to keep listening till we hit that song. And even like the first three tracks, like Porcelain, This Side of Brightness, and Ian Curtis are fantastic. So I this may
The
not
thing
be
I
the yeah,
like looking back on that album, it's kind of insane that he's always been such a good writer.
yes.
Like his writing's always been like it wasn't a first album version of what he does. He's such a great writer.
Yeah. Like it felt like especially in his writing that there wasn't really a lot of growing pains. That it's just like
Mm.
he was kind of almost fully formed. Like the music may not have been completely fully formed, but as far as the vocal content and especially the way he expressed himself, it felt like Jeff was fully formed, like from the jump. Because, and especially Ian Curtis, at, that song can just get very haunting to me. Like towards the end of the bridge where Ian Curtis killed himself again, and it just that has always just kind of stuck with me. And
It does seem
whenever I
like he's just
listen to it,
always been working through things, like
yes,
through his songs. And like it definitely comes through. I mean, I feel like every album, well, I won't get ahead, but yeah, I feel like it's always like a picture of where he's at.
yeah. So, and especially this is his definite younger years, and I think the first album I listened to was Full Collapse, like most people. Like
For
you
sure.
find them with like Cross Out the Eyes because that wound up on like MTV like later at night, and like every now and then you're able to catch the video and them on Conan and everything. Uh,
Yeah.
so it wasn't until later that I really started listening to Waiting, and I don't know. It felt like almost like Full Collapse is definitely more polished and front to back probably a much better album, but there's just something about this particular album that just it hits. Like it's only like 9 tracks, but it hits every single time.
It
Like I
took me a
put it
long
on,
time to
yeah,
go back to waiting just because like when I first got like into Full Collapse, we didn't have streaming. And so I
that's
wasn't
true.
I couldn't just like and I didn't have the money to just go buy extra CDs. And at that point, I don't know if this is how you were at that like at that age, but if I had a CD by a band, I didn't want to spend money on having another CD by that band. I wanted to expand. And
Yeah.
so it took me a long time before I got back to waiting. It even took me a little while to get into War All the Time because I was just like, well, it's not Full Collapse. Um,
Yeah, I can
but
understand that.
the waiting's like uh, definitely like more punk rock in the structure. Like it doesn't necessarily have like the flow that the
Yeah,
rest of their work has. Like
that's true.
it's like very thoughtful, like after waiting. Like the whole every album is like thoughtful the way it's laid out and
Yeah.
it's an experience
Like one song flows into the next, flows into the next, whereas this is more of like a collection of songs
for
versus,
sure.
yeah. And it was only because of my friend Joey, who I had originally started this show with, and it just, things happen, people get older, and shit's just hard to maintain. Um, but he's the one who kind of turned me on to Coheed. He's the one who turned me on to Thursday. He's the one who turned me on to Newfound Glory, which was a lot of fun. But it was because of him that I found Full Collapse, and it was a burnt CD of Waiting that I listened to, and I listened to Ian Curtis for the first time, and This Side of Brightness, and it was because of him that I was had a job at a time, and War All the Time came out, and I was like, new Thursday album, gotta get it, and put that on, and that was in heavy rotation for a very long time and
It's
still
such a
is
good
to
album.
this day. It was so good.
Oh.
No skips on that one. And we'll get to, trust me, we'll get to that in a little bit. So we talked about waiting. We kind of got to go to the end, and their latest album or their last album they put out, which was in 2011, and it's No Dissolution. And I know earlier I said that every Thursday album, there's at least one song I can point to and said that's always going to bring me in. This album does not have that for me. I don't know what
Okay.
it is about No Dissolution. I've, especially once we decided who we were going to talk about, I was like, okay, I got to put this on and re-listen to it and re-listen to it just so I can,
Yeah, I did that
speak
this
about it
week.
coherently. And I had a harder time getting through this record than I have any other album that they've put out. Like City by the Light Divided, like those first like 3 or 4 tracks pull you in, and at least you can ride through the rest of the album. Common Existence, kind of the same thing. But there's just something about this album that feels that it's not quite Thursday to me.
It's
That it
very
doesn't,
different. It's
yeah.
funny though that you say because you mentioned Coheed and like when I listen to this, I is it I thought it was Devolution. Do you it
Is
doesn't matter.
it? I don't know.
I just don't know it.
I can't pronounce words. Don't mind
Devolution.
me. There's like a
Uh
asterisk, and then there's like a
yeah, I
accent
think you have
on
to
an
do this
I,
thing
and
with your hands when you
it
say
the no
Devolution.
devolution,
Um
devolution. I
it's
feel like
every
I'm making fun
language.
of somebody. So, anyways,
Uh
continue.
it's to me it kind of almost feels like a concept album.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of epic and like if
Yeah.
it feels like it's actually it feels kind of like yeah like a concept album in a lot of ways. And what I do listening back this week, the one thing that I hadn't really taken away before, the drums are I think my favorite mix on their drums is
Yeah.
actually in this new album. But maybe
Okay.
that's because there's not as much everything else grabbing me like most of their albums do.
Yeah. I don't know. There's just this album, like in a vacuum, just does not feel like I am a big Coheed and Cambria fan, but I will admit that they lost me for a while with Year of the Black Rainbow and the Afterman. It felt like they were kind of expanding too much, or maybe trying too many different things with their albums, which, hey, you got to evolve. You got to keep working towards what you want to do and the sounds you want to perfect. I 100% get it as an artist, but at the same time, this particular album just didn't do it for me as far as Thursday is concerned. Maybe it's because I like with Coheed, for example, like you're kind of over time, like they were always kind of experimenting and wanting to do different things. And the fact that every album was a concept album for them, since they were actually telling the story of Coheed and Cambria,
Sure.
that doing something like Year of the Black Rainbow or uh oh God, what was that other one I literally just mentioned? Um I was gonna say Unheavenly Creatures, but that wasn't it. I actually really enjoyed Unheavenly Creatures. Um, but it just felt like Thursday was kind of entering into a concept that wasn't quite what I enjoyed as for them anyway. But you
Yeah.
know what? But at the same time, as an artist, you got to continue to push the boundaries and explore. And you know,
I also wonder, have you read Jeff's book?
I haven't. He has a book.
Oh my God. It's actually so good. It's called Someone Who Isn't Me. Um,
Okay.
holy shit. It's
Oh shit. Hold
so
on.
fucking good. Basically it's his story. He writes it, it's his story, and it's like uh essentially a slightly fictionalized version of his drug addiction and getting clean. Um, and it's so, so good. I will say I probably like it as much as I do, partially because he lives in my neighborhood and he like references stuff that's in my neighborhood. So it's a
That's
little
cool.
bit that for me, but it's so, so good. But I wonder if Devolution was like during that time. Like I wonder if
You know what? That would make a lot of sense. Huh. All right, I need to find this because I now want to read that really badly. Have you read Three Pianos, Andrew McMahon's book?
no.
Do you like Andrew McMahon? Like something corporate?
Oh my gosh. I was
Uh,
like, well, I couldn't figure out that name, but I remember something corporate. I didn't follow them very much. An ex of mine was really into them, and so they had like a block on me for years. But
okay.
three pianos.
Three Pianos. It goes through basically his life, his addiction, his cancer treatment. Such a great book. So good. I highly recommend it because it basically he breaks it down into literally the three pianos he owned throughout his life.
Okay,
So, and it just he actually writes letters to the piano throughout the book. So
that's a cool idea. Yeah, that's a cool
it was
idea.
a really cool concept and I really enjoyed it. That and The Road Beneath My Feet by Frank Turner. Very
I,
much
yeah,
like
I didn't know
after, pardon?
I didn't know that he had written.
He has two books, The Road Beneath My Feet, which starts out as from um right after Million Dead broke up and then goes through a lot through his early career as a solo artist, touring throughout the UK and Europe and then eventually into America. And then he has another book called I think it's just like songbook or something like that. And it's just he talks about like it's like 32 of his songs and he just like writes about the concepts behind them and like what inspired them. So I haven't read that one yet, but I was told by someone that it was very good. So I'm gonna have to look for that book now. So thank you for telling me about that.
Yeah, but yeah. So I mean, maybe he
That
was
would
just
make a lot of
in
sense.
a real like his worst place when he made it.
That would That does make a lot of sense. Man, I'm all right. I'm now gonna have to do a little research into that. All right, so we've done first, we've done last. What do you consider their best album? And I know we've already talked about this, so but
Yeah,
go
I
ahead,
mean, I
say it
have
anyway.
to go full collabs. Um, I have to admit that it's at least partially a nostalgia, like the reason why it like lives in a very specific part in my heart
Yeah,
is when I experienced it and everything. But I listen to it. There's not a month that goes by that I don't listen to full collabs. It's so constant because it's just so good. But I don't skip around.
yeah.
It's front to back. It's so good. I mean,
It
it's just
is.
perfect.
I mean, it. I love that about Full Collapse is that there's no fat on it. It's literally just one after the other after you. I mean, going from like the intro song to Understanding in a Car Crash, Concealer, Autobiography of a Nation, which is, I mean, a lot of people think it's Cross Out the Eyes and some other songs, but honestly, no, there's so much good
It's,
music on that
I mean,
album.
it's hard to even say like what I like on it because there's nothing I don't like on it.
Yeah.
It's weird because I have it on a couple playlists, and
Mhm.
sometimes like you ever like random like have a playlist on random, but then you catch a song where you're like, well, I can't
Now I gotta
not
listen
hear
to
that
them.
next song.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean the whole thing, Concealer is
Oh yeah.
so fun. I
Standing
mean,
on the Edge of Summer, Paris
ugh,
in Flames. It's
it's all perfect.
That album is front to back. And that's the one thing I love about I love it when bands have like back to back just phenomenal albums. Like the Wonder Years have Greatest Generation and Closer to Heaven. Honestly, they have a bunch of really good albums in the era. I love the Wonder Years. Uh Coheed had even starting Second Stage Turbine Blade into In Keeping Secrets.
I mean, Turbine's my favorite, Coheed.
Turbine's a great album. I love that album. Um, but the fact that Thursday had Full Collapse into War All the Time, because because you told me you were gonna Full Collapse was gonna be your favorite. I did not want to copy it, although I will, but I felt like I have to give some shine to War All the Time
Yeah.
because that album from the beginning, For the Workforce, Drowning, those first notes, it is such a banger. And then, like, literally, there's not a, this is another one of those albums that it's just, there are no skips. You just keep listening over and over and over again, and you keep running with it. It, it it's literally perfect. I
The
mean,
live experience of that album was really incredible.
it was next level. It really was. Like, obviously hearing War All the Time. This song is brought to you by a falling bomb. Marches and maneuvers. I mean, obviously they had the single signals over the air, but there are so many great songs on that album. Uh, and I'll be talking about one of them in my top three. Ah, teasing you there, internet.
I'm back.
Yep. But Full Collapse War All the Time. Honestly, it's 1A and 1B. Whatever you want
Yeah.
to put as your best album is, it doesn't matter because
I
they're
mean,
both just that good.
and I knew that this was going to be a good combo when we were discussing which one I would wanted to pick because I also knew exactly what you were asking. Like I knew it was to see if we had to battle over one or the other of these two albums.
Yeah.
Um, there's just something so perfect about them. And I think part of the reason by like both of these albums like really hit for me is that I was really just into like hardcore and metal. And
Yeah.
I still don't know exactly how to describe or put Thursday in a genre.
I
Um, it's not emo and it's not hardcore, but
It's
it's
like
not
that
those things.
post-hardcore screamo kind of. I mean,
See,
it's
don't
hard.
you feel uncomfortable?
Yes. Even trying to put a label on it just doesn't feel quite right. It's just one of those bands that it doesn't feel right, like sticking them in a box. Just let them do their thing and move on with the day, I guess. So
I mean, I'm stealing this from a band shirt that I have from somebody else, but it is kind of perfect for this. Is like it's hard music for soft people and it's soft music for hard people.
I love that. There was a shirt I saw last year at Supernova, and oh man, I wish I remembered what it said because it kind of perfectly like put what ska was. It's like it's happy music unless it's sad, it's fun unless it's not, and then just like constantly. And then Hub City Stompers have a shirt that says that they're ska music for people who hate ska. So
Oh yeah.
yeah. So all right,
Uh,
we've done our first, we've done our last, we've done our best. Now let's move into the top threes. As a reminder to everyone who's playing at home, we each say what our number three is, then we move on to number two, then we move on to number one. The only reason why I bring this up is because Angle does not listen to me when I tell him we need to do this. He will literally go like start at three, go straight to one, and I Angle, I love you with all of my heart, buddy. But you need to listen to me sometimes. I love you, buddy. I really do. So we will start at number three. What is your number three, Bailey?
we're talking songs
Yes, we're
Thursday
now in our
or
top three.
okay. So I'm doing Paris in Flames.
Ooh, so good. That is a great song. Paris in Flames. Like I said, for on Full Collapse, that is top tier level song. I will say this. Uh, my top three is kind of weird because I don't reach for any of like the singles they put out or any of the obvious ones, or at least I feel like they're not obvious. And my number three is the closing track for War All the Time. It's Tomorrow I'll Be You.
Okay.
There's that it, it ends it ends the album in almost a perfect way. And I love how it builds, and especially the bridge for that song. So I love that song.
That's
I
super
love that
powerful
album.
live too. Like
Yes, it
I
is.
think I cried uh when
I
I
don't
saw
blame
that
you.
live.
Don't blame you at all.
Heavy, heavy.
What is your number two?
Um, so I don't know if I'm breaking a rule by my number two coming from War All the Time,
No, there
but
are no rules for the top three. Go ahead, do what you want.
Division Street.
Great song. No,
I feel
there are
like
no
it's
rules.
just
If
like
it's is
it
it
feels
your
like it
no.
feels like I'm like part of his like his history, you know, like I feel like I'm like
Yeah,
really like seeing like a tangible story when I listen to it.
that is another great song off that album. And in keeping with my kind of theme of closing songs, How Long is the Night from Full Collapse? Before it goes into that, like
The
once again,
twinkly
closing,
little
yeah,
closing
yes.
thing.
I I don't know what it is about closing numbers that they do, but it just puts this huge, perfect exclamation mark on the album. So I have to go How Long Is the Night. Such a great song.
I respect that.
All right, Bailey, what is your number one?
My number one, I'm going as much as I want to go some of the more obvious ones. My it has to be Concealer.
Okay. I'm 100% fine with that. Concealer is a great song. War All the Time. Oh my God, I love that album. No, wait, that's Full Collapse. Sorry.
That's Full
My brain is
Collapse.
just telling myself what it wants to hear. All right. Mine is there's a personal collection connection to this song, and it's just so when I told you earlier the story about like going to see Thursday right before I left for my sister's wedding, the last song they played was this song. And there's just something about the bridge that has pulled me in every single time, and I love it. 10 seconds left until midnight. Nine chances to say our goodbyes. Oh, God, I forgot but it's the fact that my favorite song does not come from any actual album, but rather a EP where it's literally live tracks from songs from Full Collapse, and then finishes it off with Jet Black New Year. This
Oh,
song is so fucking good. The bridge is perfect. I love it. It's like five stories falling. Oh my God, what is it? Five stories falling. I don't remember. Any fuck it. Who cares? This song is perfect. I love it. It is easily my favorite Thursday song. It will always be my favorite Thursday song. Trust me, I
so
love.
weird. Like that one like slipped out of my I don't know how I missed it for a long time, but like I only came around to it a couple years ago.
Yeah. It was. I think I never really listened to it until I saw them live and they played it, and then it was so powerful that I was like, okay, this is my favorite song. Fight me on it because I will fight him. Anyone, anyone at all,
Anyone.
internet.
I'll be there filming it.
Yeah, Bailey will film it for me because Bailey's awesome. I'll get my ass kicked, but that's fine. Anyways, but yeah, Jet Black New Year, easily number one. I love it.
Solid pick.
And that's the end of our episode. We talked about Thursday. I can cross this band off my list now. I'm happy camper. So, Bailey, thank you for jumping on. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Um, I'd love to do this again sometime. Once again, you can see Bailey live if you are in the Birmingham area on October 2nd, in Pittsburgh on the 18th and 19th of October, the 23rd in Jacksonville, and Bailey will be at the Fest in Gainesville on the 24th and 25th of October. Go see Plastic Flamingos if you get a chance. It's one of the guys who did the Summer Ska series. It's his band. He's a drummer for him. Uh,
Oh yeah.
kind of ska feel to him. A lot of fun, but they
Okay.
pretty sure they're playing Joker's Republic too. If you like ska punk, uh,
Okay.
I highly recommend them. They're out of New Jersey, I think. Um, sorry, this is what happens. I get distracted and ADHD and run down a rabbit hole. Obviously, her upcoming special, AKA, comes out on the 29th, and it is available for pre-order. And we can find you on social media where?
And the actual Bailey Pope on all the stuff and all my info and dates are at baileypopecomedy.com.
Sweet. Bailey, thank you so much. You've been wonderful. Hopefully we get to do this again. Next week, I think it's oh, oh, that's what I'm doing. All right, so next week we've got a brand new concept episode coming up. And you'll just have to wait till then to find out what it is. Aha! All right, we'll see you next week. Thanks.